So we're here at it with some more Helldivers 2 with a breakdown of a lot of recent goings on over the past couple of days, more new vehicles being seen in the wild, as well as some fun little additions from the wider community with a sweet little heavy metal cover of the Helldivers theme. So far the community's been absolutely smashing it in this game and I've been having a ton of fun, and it looks like you guys are doing as well. Currently the major order is very well managed, everyone seems to be doing their thing. We need to obviously keep the 2 planets of Heath and Angel's Venture under the control of Super Earth when the major order expires, which we've still got roughly 3 days on that, and hopefully by the looks of it then everyone's going to be getting them 45 medals. There's been a sweet little website made by the community which is helldivers.io, and it just gives a sweet little breakdown of what's going on in terms of the game. Now over on Reddit, and thanks to work of user by the name of Goxon, a Galaxy War 101 and actually Galaxy War 102 on how to efficiently liberate multiple planets and the supply lines of the planets involved, and how planets open up, how ones get shut down if we lose control of them and whatnot. And this basically stems from a post that the CEO Johan of the game posted on Twitter over the weekend with returns to CCU and planet liberation progress. So from this, the post states that players contribute to a planet's liberation progress when they complete operations. Currently this is set at 0.0001% to 0.0003% per operation, ranging from operations with 1 mission to those with 3 missions, and this is not affected by the number of players completing an operation or the operation's difficulty. On average, 100,000 players on a planet tend to contribute to around 5% liberation progress per hour. Now obviously from the recent uptick in people playing this game, obviously the peak is about 400,000-500,000 players on Steam, with obviously a couple more 100,000 on PlayStation. So as you can see, with that rate of 5% per hour, just 100,000, then obviously that's why we've been smashing through some of the major orders in recent days. The post continues with, think of planet Regen as the rate at which a hostile planet is being reinforced or how quickly bugs are spawning. This is a mechanic that can be adjusted by the Gamemaster, the all-powerful Lord Saviour Joel, who basically at will can change this between 0% to 20% per hour. Now obviously if we're only getting 5% per hour and that's been cranked up to 20% per hour, then you can pretty much work out the maths that is going to be a pretty swift defeat on our end. And obviously it's something in terms of the bells and whistles and all the knobs and tuning that they can do on the back end to obviously make this game a little bit more interesting in terms of how the galactic war is progressing. Obviously in its name it implies that each hour the planet's liberation progress will decrease by X% per hour, and it is deducted from any progress made by players on that planet. E.g. if a planet has a regen of 4% with 100,000 people on it, on average that means that the planet will see a net progress of 1% per hour, 5% from the 100,000 people minus the 4% planet regen. Typically the Gamemaster sets a relatively high regen rate for bug planets. Currently this is 5% for each planet, and the bot planets currently have a 0% regen. Previously they had 0.8 to 1% regen during the last major order. Again, the post continues and it breaks down basically the strategy as to how planets can get their regen rates and the progression a little bit further, and how that obviously is going to break down over an hour to hour period with terms of peak playtime and off-peak playtime. They've even broken down a little bit of a blitz strategy in terms of trying to keep these planets at 100%, which is kind of where we're at with the current major order, I guess. As a bit of a breakdown, if you see multiple bug planets being attacked / needing liberation, focus on whichever planet has the most players. The best way to capture all planets is to focus on a single planet and build up a huge critical mass well above the regen rate of that planet. I mean, basically when you're looking around the map for missions and whatnot, just take a quick look, figure out which planets have got the most players on, jump in, dive in and help out and crack on with the rest of the community. Now, like I said, there's a Galaxy War 102 from the same user who basically breaks down how supply lines work, which planets we can go to, and how they potentially going to get cut off. Obviously, this is stuff that isn't massively well explained within the game itself, unless there are significant planet regen on planets that may have their supply lines cut off, or where a major order is involved. It's generally more efficient to just ignore defense campaigns. In their current form, defense campaigns are not worth your time or suffering. It's more efficient to just focus on liberation progress all the time. Taking back a planet that lost its defense campaign is faster and more enjoyable than trying to win a defense campaign. So again, another pointer is to literally just look at the map, figure out which players are on which planets, and try and focus your time on liberating a planet rather than defending one. Again, I'll leave a link in the description to both of these posts if you want a little bit of further reading. Now, recently, obviously, we've had a lot of news in terms of mechs, exosuits, new weapons, new stratagems potentially coming to the game, but again, we've had another one that is coming in terms of another new vehicle, another new stratagem that has been seen out in the wild, and this is armoured personnel carriers. Now obviously we don't have any updates or timescales as to these, and in terms of them being seen in game, it does seem to be quite random. Obviously there's a ton of stuff still coming to this game, and I don't know if anyone was a veteran out there of Helldivers 1, then obviously they've got a lot of stuff that they can still pick into, and realistically we are still in the early days of Helldivers 2, so there's a ton of things that will be coming and stuff that I'm massively looking forward to as this game continues. Now moving on, obviously as this community grows and grows, there's obviously going to be a ton of memes, tons of content going around, but one of the main things, and this was a nice touch that I come across yesterday whilst I was doom scrolling over on Twitter, and it was basically a little bit of a shout out from the CEO. He states, "Isn't this nice? Helldivers game composer doing a cover of Helldivers 2 composer's score. Massive shout out to Wilbert Roger and Jill Swee for their individual contribution to Arrowhead games over the last decade and a half." Now, this one then links to a Helldivers 2 main theme, which is a metal cover and orchestral mock-up of the main theme. And I chucked it in at the start of the video, but I'm going to obviously play a little bit of it now, and it is just epic. Let's just listen in. Obviously it was Wilbert who has composed this main theme for Helldivers 2, and it was Johan Lindgren who has done this awesome metal cover version of it. And if you want to listen to that one as you go around and spread more managed democracy, I'll leave a link to that one down in the description as well. And then finally, another great little clip that I come across during my doom scrolling. I've come across a post from Big Nut Baku, who has basically turned the average Helldivers 2 gameplay but animated it in the style of the Gennady Tarkovsky's 2003 Clone Wars. They basically have summed up what it is like to be a Helldiver in this awesome clip. It just perfectly captures the ongoing madness that basically happens in any moment. One moment you think you've got everything under control, and then one person goes down and you're just absolutely getting swamped. It's brilliant. I love this little clip. Again, if you want to support this person, it's over on their YouTube channel, links down below. It's absolutely awesome. Go and subscribe to them and show the love, like this awesome community has basically evolved since the start of Helldivers 2 at the beginning of February. So that's basically it. That's all we've got time for today. There's going to be tons more updates, more Helldivers 2 videos coming up over the next few days and weeks. If you want to see more and you want to stick around, then please press the subscribe button, hit the like button too. It all massively helps. It's all greatly appreciated. We've seen a ton of love on the channel recently, and it just gets me hyped to play the game and chuck out as much content for you guys as possible. So again, thank you very much. Let's get on with the major order, and I'll see you out there spreading more managed democracy.